On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
Your two favorite magicians for hire.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to talk about this.
You guys, as we may have alluded to, we signed up for magician classes. And we did our class on Saturday.
And they kind of blew our mind. It was pretty great.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I have been showing everybody that I can those card tricks.
No, it was, I thought we'd get a little more.
I thought we were pulling shit out of hats.
Yeah, I thought,
wands.
Where's the scarf coming from? I don't know. But we did learn some card tricks, and we learned some coin tricks as well.
I did pull a coin out of one of your guests' ear.
Oh, yeah. So we did that on Saturday. And then I had a party on Saturday night, like another movie night. Before the party, like when guests first started getting there, like the first few guests, I did one of the card tricks for them. And then you did some more card tricks for people.
Yep.
Whose ear did you pull a coin out of?
Madison's.
Oh, the other.
Yeah.
The champ's coworker.
Yeah. Because we were talking because I was like, I keep getting your text messages because the champ will accidentally text me.
The champ put together like a group text to invite some of his coworkers to our party. There's a Madison that he used to work with. I don't think she actually works with them anymore. Our Madison had texted me we were on the phone or something, and you're like, I think I'm in a different group text. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to be in this.
But so-and-so can't make it. So I just thought I'd tell you. Yeah.
And I was confused because I had sent out like just a text invite. I sent it to you, and you're like, yeah, he already told me.
It's like, yeah, he already, I know about this already. Yeah. So I pulled a coin out of her ear.
Was she impressed?
So impressed.
Oh my God.
She loved it.
Amazing.
I know. God, but yeah, I thought that we were going to be pulling.
I thought I was going to saw you in half.
Saw people in half. I don't know. Maybe that's the next class we have to take. But
yeah.
The magician was great.
If you guys want to see the wildest group of people that you've ever seen in a setting together, it's a magician class because you will get all walks of life.
All walks of life. People that you wouldn't think like those. They were like dads behind us, like corporate guys. Like, yeah, we work in like corporate whatever. Like, probably wear suits to work.
Oh, and for sure.
Was fully engaged and messed up on one of the card tricks. I'll tell you that. Remember that?
Yep. This week went by really fast. I think because we did that on Saturday, and then Saturday night you guys were here for the party, and we watched Serial Mom, by the way, which I also have to talk about because on Saturday I had gone to Trader Joe's that morning to get some flowers, just to make some flower arrangements to put around the house. And the cashiers at Trader Joe's, I was like checking out, and they're like, oh, what are these flowers for? And I was like, oh, I'm having a little movie night tonight. And they were like, what movie are you watching? And I was like, Serial Mom? Because I feel like it's a little niche where maybe not everyone would know it. And they were both like, oh my God, we love John Waters. Da, da, da. And so I had left, and then I realized I forgot something. But in the time that I had walked to my car to put the groceries in, the champ had texted me and was like, or I was texting him about it, and he's like, just invite them to the party.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was joking or not, but then I went back in and I was like, hey, if you guys want to come, here's my number.
I love it.
And they texted, they weren't able to make it, but they did text me.
We were talking about that, and like, that's how you build community and meet people. And like, yeah, like I know like my parents have lived in the same place for 40 years.
Yeah.
And like know the cashier at Ralph's really well.
Totally.
And like that's just how you
meet people.
So I love it. I think why not? And if they knew who John Waters was and loved Serial Mom.
You're welcome in my home.
Even better.
Oh, and then also, speaking of Trader Joe's, I tried this TikTok recipe that Geoffs, you have to try.
Yes.
It's called the dumpling bake. I'll link the one that I made in the show notes, or like the recipe that I copied. And it was all from Trader Joe's, but you could absolutely get the ingredients anywhere. But it's going to be added into the weekly meal rotation, I think, because it was so easy.
It looked really good. Wait, I need to ask you something that I haven't asked you, like off air. But what?
I'm engaged.
He's engaged.
I'm engaged.
Look at him. No, the Annabelle stuff.
Oh my God.
The handler died?
Yep.
What's the deal?
So I don't know if they've given a cause of death yet, but the guy, I think he was 54 years old, and he does these
like the tours,
like haunted tours, where basically they take all these haunted items and go on tour with them.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I wouldn't do it.
There's a lot of things that I would do, even if something was deemed haunted.
Yeah.
Annabelle's not one of them.
Girl.
Like
she needs to be in that Warren Museum, just tucked away. Well, because the thing is, they closed down the Warren Museum years ago because of zoning issues, I guess, because it was on residential. It's like in a residential area.
Imagine being the neighbor.
Oh,
like Annabelle is right fucking there.
I'm not going over there.
I'm not even stepping foot on their property line.
Well, here's the thing, because I would go to the museum because it's a museum, and like,
yeah,
I know they had her in her box and blessed it regularly and stuff, but she doesn't need to be going on tour.
That's crazy. And all the shit that's been going on, like with her stops and this.
Mm-hmm. And so basically, I guess what happened was he had gone to his hotel room that night because they had just finished doing a 2-day event somewhere, and he told, I guess, his coworker, I'm not feeling well, and then went into his room and died. I don't think it was a heart attack or anything. It's just seems so random. Of course, we don't know. I mean, thoughts to his family and everything, but it adds to the lore.
It adds to the lore, and I am thinking, I'm like, they can't just leave Annabelle in a truck or something, like, while they're toying. Like, does she get her own hotel room? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, does she get put in?
It's probably stored with all the other haunted stuff. I don't know.
Dude.
They need to keep an eye on her, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, they do. That's scary.
Obviously, it's so sad he passed away so young, but I'm also like, you were talking last week in the episode about people who died on stage, and it was like what they loved, and we talked about that one comedian who died at the roast, and we're like, he probably loved it. I'm like, as much as this guy probably didn't want to go that young, you're now part of that legacy forever.
Totally, absolutely.
He's part of Annabelle's tale.
Yeah, very scary. I never thought I would really believe in haunted stuff. I believe in places being haunted.
Well, you dyed your hair because you wanted to look like Annabelle.
No, no, girl. No, but I have said this before. I have I have a Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy doll.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it.
At your parents' house?
At my parents'. I should get them out though for Halloween and like put them out.
Do it.
Scary.
I'm not coming over.
Scary. Well, Raggedy Ann and Andy were such cute little like.
No.
Oh, I think they were cute.
I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right. Well.
No. Which, actually, now that I think about it, my mom had one of her like childhood dolls at their house. It wasn't like, oh, she always had it. She randomly just had it one day.
Yeah.
And it was so scary looking.
Oh, Cisco's mom collects dolls. She has every like beautiful porcelain doll that you can think of. And Cisco talks about how, like, and if you go to their house, like, she has them all in a room. Like there's a ton of them. And as kids, they would like lock their cousins in the room like,
the doll room.
They are freaky.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a listener email?
I do have a listener email.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, we talked about degloving and scalping.
Yes.
I have a listener email, somebody who was very close to a scalping.
Let's hear it.
It's wild. It says, hi, Spencer, Madison, and all the pups and partners. I'm a longtime cult babe in Geoff and love you both. I literally paused your last episode just now yelling, "Oh, bitch," as I ran across my house to my phone to type this. I'll be brief. In 2017, I had a summer job as a cashier at an indoor go-kart shop in Poconos, PA. We always had to tell people who were going to ride the go-karts that if their hair fell below their shoulders, they had to tie it up while they ride. This woman with hair down, past her ass, came in, tied up her hair, and went riding with her friends. When her go-kart got bumped by her friend's go-kart, her hair tie fell out and her long hair fell into the exposed engine/axle in the back of the car. She panicked and tried to brake to stop it, but accidentally hit the gas and floored it down the straightaway as my coworker frantically used the emergency buttons to shut off all the go-karts. She was scalped almost entirely from the pressure her hair was pulled back with. She lost a lot of blood, and I sat with her until help arrived.
Oh, my God.
The firemen had to cut her out of the go-kart, and she was life-flighted to the hospital. She's alive and well. I was just a 19-year-old girlie home from college for the summer when this happened. It was a bit traumatic, but not my worst tale. Oh, God. Here's a local news link about it if you're curious, and it kind of explains the same thing. And this is Love, Julia.
Thank you, Julia, for sending that in.
That is so wild. Like, I just never thought, like, I've pictured your hair being pulled out, right? Like, from the root, but not all the skin going with it.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, so that's scalping.
Good.
Crazy.
It makes me like, ugh.
It's, such a memory, though. Think about, I feel like anytime something weird happens like that when you're younger, especially at, a theme park or an attraction, I feel like you always just remember that forever.
Knott's Berry Farm, this, splash thing they had. I remember there was a rumor of a woman who died on it because she couldn't fasten her seatbelt. She flew off. I remember kids talking about it at school.
Yeah, ingrained.
Totally.
God.
Ingrained in you.
Crazy.
I know.
Well, speaking of memories getting ingrained, this person wrote in Am I the Asshole about something that I don't think they're ever going to forget or forgive.
Oh, God. Okay.
It says, am I the asshole for banning my mom's boyfriend from my life after what he did at my granddad's funeral?
Okay, let's hear it.
My mom, 56, has been dating a man named Adam for 5 years. I'm 28. They met online during COVID and said, I love you within 3 weeks before they'd even met in person. Red flag number one. At the time, we had just gotten out of a 20-year abusive home situation. Our mom didn't protect us. We got us all out. We'd encouraged her to date to stop her going back to dad, but the intensity of the relationship raised red flags. Adam is in his late 50s, never married, supposedly has a good job, but nothing to show for it. I suspect he gambles. He watches every sport, every team obsessively. He lives in England and we're in Ireland. There have always been red flags, subtle digs about my mom's aging, calling her decisions our decisions, but keeping his private. He makes no effort with family and isolates her. I think he's using her and possibly planning to freeload off of her divorce settlement. The final straw was him watching football on his phone for 15 plus minutes at my granddad's funeral. I waited a few weeks to tell my mom, and when I did, he denied it, and she believed him over me. Things got tense. My sister and I ended up in family therapy without him and agreed to one last conversation with Adam. We told our mom if it went badly, she could keep seeing him, but she had to stop trying to involve us. It was a big deal. We were anxious and triggered by having to confront a man about his behavior given our past. The conversation was awful. He said, we'll agree to disagree, and admitted he glanced at his phone, and then finally admitted to watching the entire match. Still no apology.
Oh my God.
Since then, 6 months ago, we've had no contact with him. I've told him I don't want to speak to him again, and now my mom is saying we need to fix things and come for dinner to sort it out. She gets upset when we say no. I'm exhausted. I can't control who she dates, but I won't be around him. It's stressful, triggering, and upsetting. Some families say we're being overly sensitive, but honestly, we're too tolerant. We survived years of abuse. If we were fragile, we would have broken. We didn't. Now I'm getting married next year and I'm already heartbroken because my dad won't walk me down the aisle. Not because he's gone, but because of what he did to us. That's something I've had to grieve, but now it feels like another man in my mom's life is going to ruin another major moment. My graduation, birthdays, those were all made miserable by my dad, and now it feels like my wedding could be overshadowed by another man she's putting first. I just don't understand how it's unreasonable to want my wedding day to be about me, for once, not about managing someone else's boyfriend. My mom clearly thinks I'm the problem and that I'm being difficult and dramatic because of our past, and honestly, I'm starting to feel like I am the asshole, but deep down, I don't think I am. I just feel like one for standing my ground. So am I the asshole for drawing this boundary and saying I don't want to spend Christmas or my wedding with this man?
No, I think that your mom's kind of an asshole and needs probably a lot of help. And you said it in the beginning that she didn't get you out of the abusive situation. You and your siblings got yourselves out. That feels like a no contact thing, even with your mom. Like, I think that would be an option.
Yeah, I mean, we always say it, like, just because someone's family, you don't have to deal with their antics or their bullshit. Right. And it doesn't sound like your mom has a great picker.
Nope.
But also, she was a victim of abuse herself. And so I think she's probably just, instead of working through some of that, it sounds like, based on the way this was written, that she just kind of threw herself into another relationship.
That's what I was saying. She needs help.
Yeah.
But I also think there's certain conversations and with certain people that oh, come for dinner and we'll just sort it out. There are certain things that you cannot do without a professional there.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of them. And I don't think you're an asshole.
Yeah. No, not an asshole. Okay, this next one says, am I the asshole for refusing to share my inheritance with my estranged brother who suddenly reappeared after years of silence? So, my great aunt, who I barely knew, passed away recently and surprisingly left me with a decent chunk of money. Not like quit your job kind of money, but enough to clear my student loans and help me buy a small place. I was shocked and super grateful. Then, out of nowhere, my older brother Mark messaged me. We haven't talked in 10 plus years. He was emotionally manipulative, constantly a mess financially, and our parents had to bail him out a lot. He never apologized or reached out, not even when our grandma passed. And now he's suddenly like, hey, long time no talk. And then jumps straight to, heard about Aunt Carol's will. Congrats.
Oh, God.
And then, boom, asked for a fair share of it. He says he's struggling with debt and his business is tanking and that it would be cold-hearted of me not to help him. I told him no, I'm using the money to move forward, not pay for his past.
Yeah.
He called me selfish and said I've always been a terrible sister. Am I the asshole for not giving him any of it?
I don't think so. I mean, the Aunt Carol left it to her, and he's just coming out of the woodwork.
No.
Yeah, no.
No. Not the asshole on that one for sure.
I do think there are certain things when someone, certain things that people can see that you can't see yourself.
Yeah.
And Aunt Carol was probably like, the money's not going to him. He's fucking up,
Yeah. And I think so many people are under the impression that things have to be split evenly into that.
Yeah.
They don't. Obviously, if someone has kids, they're all kind of in a similar situation. It's always been kind of the same. Then, yeah, obviously it makes sense, divide it up.
Yeah.
But, no.
Yeah. God. Assholes.
Block them and move on, I say.
I agree.
Alrighty, well, I'm up first this week, which means you should have a little side bitch for us.
I sure do. I have one for Joe, and it says, Joe always said he wanted to die young and leave a good-looking corpse. After battling a lengthy illness, Joe was blessed by God when he passed away on April 20th at the age of 72. Good-looking corpse at 72.
Why not?
Love it.
Yeah.
Joe was born in Pampa, Texas, and preceded in death by his parents, Jack and Gloria, and brother Rick. Joe is survived by his loving wife, Candace, his son Nash, daughter Courtney, and granddaughter Harper. His sister Susan, with whom he shared his love for the Dallas Cowboys and texted every game, his brother Chuck, many nieces and nephews, and his best friend and very good boy, Oliver the Maltipoo, will miss him dearly. Joe's favorite thing in life all began with the letter G: golf, guitar, and girls. When he married the love of his life, Candy, 39 years ago, he had to give up the girls and get a day job. But he spent many decades working weekends as a talented musician playing guitar and singing with the bands Shellacko and Checkpoint, along with his many musician friends. He accomplished 2 hole-in-ones on the golf course and retired from West Texas Gas in 2020. He is so loved and missed. While his family is heartbroken, we take comfort in knowing he is no longer suffering. And then it gives some service information and then a quote from John Lennon that says, "Love is a promise, love is a souvenir, once given, never forgotten, never let it disappear."
Oh.
Ooh. I just love a good-looking corpse and golf, guitar, and girls.
Love it.
Love it.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll tell you what had me spinning in my coffin this week.
All righty.
We'll be right back.
And we're back. Spencer, what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Well, Madison, today we're going to be talking about death in a different way than we're used to because I wanted to break down the dead internet theory.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
So it's something I've seen it talked about online before, and I've always wanted to cover it in some capacity because it freaks me out, and it's also kind of fun to think about.
Okay.
And I think now's the perfect time to talk about it because I feel like there's just been such a rise in AI activity, which ties into this.
Okay.
And I know AI in general is kind of a touchy subject. Like, it sucks because it's so bad for the environment, but at the same time, it's also such a useful tool for people that it makes you wish, like, God, I wish it wasn't, because so many people learn so much from it.
I know.
I've seen people talk about, like, putting their medical diagnosis they received into it and finding out more information on things that can, like, help. And
yeah. I was listening to something on NPR the other day, actually, while I was driving. They were talking about AI and, like, yeah, there are so many helpful things. And then there's, like, they had this guy on who was a music producer. And he's like, "I'm going to play you a song that I was commissioned to do." And it was, like, this type. And then he's like, "I'm going to play you a song that AI did." And he's like, "The AI is so much better. It sounds so much clearer. Sounds so, like," and he's like, "This is killing us." Like, I mean, it's just so interesting.
There's a lot of industries that I think are just going to be completely overtaken if they're not already. But I mean, even for things like budgeting.
Yeah.
But then also there's the bad side of it too, which I've been, like, learning about recently, is, like, people using it as almost a form of therapy because it basically just provides so much confirmation bias, and it's not actually helping you or make you do any critical thinking or work on yourself. It's just kind of telling you what you want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's good and bad. I don't think people also realize how much, like, scrolling on Netflix or TikTok and all of that, I'm like, that's also contributing a lot to harming the environment as well. But this isn't a morality debate about AI, so let's get back.
I was so ignorant to. I had no idea any of that. I'm like, it's just our phone, you know, like, stupid.
Well, because I think it's not something that it's not taught, obviously.
Right.
So we didn't learn that. But I want to get back to the subject at hand. There is a theory floating around the digital abyss, a conspiracy that basically claims that the internet died years ago and nobody's noticed.
Okay, wait. I have heard the theory of we all died in 2020.
It's kind of a similar concept, but it's the internet dying in this theory.
Okay.
So according to believers of the dead internet theory, sometime around 2016 or 2017, the internet as we knew it, just full of absolute chaos, weird human content, completely flatlined. And it died at some point during 2016 or 2017. And then what we have now is, I was thinking of trying to describe it using our terminology. I feel like it's kind of like galvanic reanimation in a sense. Like, the internet is now a shell of itself, but it's being kept alive by bots.
Okay, so maybe some of the influencers or people that we follow and, like, have this parasocial relationship with are actually bots?
Or just don't even exist in the first place, and we're just being fed it. But there's different beliefs around the conspiracy theories. So there's some that are, like, hardcore, and it's like, none of it, what you see online, is real. And it's all just being like kind of fed to you, recycled, regurgitated, and it's all being fed to you specifically. And then
true, right? Like
there's also the other side of it where it's like more so a combination of like bots, algorithms, and an evil overlord made up of like the Zuckerbergs and possibly even the government. And that's the side that I kind of would be on with all of this.
Yeah.
But basically the theory is that the internet is dead and there's nothing new being produced. It's just constantly being like all of the new stuff is being pushed out by AI and robots. The dead internet theory first gained traction in early 2021 after this anonymous post on the conspiracy forum called Agora Roads Macintosh Cafe discussed the idea of the dead internet theory in a lot of detail. And the original poster was named Illuminati Pirate and claimed that most of the internet's content is now generated by artificial intelligence, not humans. And they argued that real users have been quietly removed or overwhelmed, and online people / profiles that we're interacting with are just basically puppets. They wrote, quote, "The U.S. government is engaging in an artificial intelligence-powered gaslighting of the entire world population." The heart of the theory is that major platforms like Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, TikTok are being dominated by bots, and not just like spam bots or fake followers, but they're really advanced AI bots. And this is something that's actually kind of come to fruition more recently. Meta did this thing where they like basically created a bunch of profiles using AI people. And it was literally like one was like a retiree and one was this. And like you could chat with them and stuff. And it was like they were real people. So part of this is like absolutely rooted in reality.
So you're telling me the hot guys that want to chat with me at 2 a.m. aren't real?
No, girl.
Oh, no.
But they're all designed to like manipulate engagement, obviously drive ad revenue, which a lot of this is based in dollars too. Because one thing that I learned when I was researching this, I watched a few different videos and I obviously read some articles, and all of it will be linked. But like Facebook, for instance, businesses through Meta pay to promote their things sometimes, like promote a video or promote a posting, a job search, whatever it is. And when they go and they're paying for this, it's like telling you, oh, estimated this many views, or it's estimated to reach this much of an audience. But the truth is, their numbers are inflated by like up to 600% sometimes, because so many of the user profiles that they're using aren't actual human beings.
Is that when people like buy followers or like?
No, because those would be more like spam bots.
Okay.
This is like Facebook saying like, oh yeah, we'll get it shown to this many profiles, but they're not actually
real people who are going to do anything or benefit your business.
Right.
Or, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So there's been like class action lawsuits and stuff. And I'm not going to say too much because I don't know enough and I don't want to get in trouble. But that's just an example that I had heard about.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But even that, like when it comes to the internet is such a facade, as we know. And like there are so many people out there who buy followers, or there's podcasts who buy fucking downloads. And that's like, I guarantee some of like the celebrity or like mega podcasts that are out there, like they got there somehow.
Like, how do you have 100,000 followers and 2 likes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You see that a lot. And I remember back in the day, so one of my last jobs was to source influencers for a brand. And so I was constantly...
You're the one who taught me that, to look at that.
Yes, because I was working with influencers at the time. And it was very clear after a while. I'm like, oh, I could pinpoint. I'm like, that person, that person, that person. And it really, that was a more simple time anyway. That was just with Instagram when all these blogger girls were buying a ton of followers. And I would go, look, I started having to vet people because at the end of the day, in theory, we should be able to press charges against a person that's claiming they have this massive audience when all of it is truly stuff that they've purchased. And it's sad to say some even do it now. And you can always tell because the engagement ratio, right? They have all these followers, but their posts have such little likes. Part of that's the algorithm. The algorithms got you fucking down. But then you can click on like who's liking their post, right? And you go through and you look and it's like, oh, these are a bunch of fake accounts.
Yeah.
And it's...
You go and look at my profile.
What if it was?
I'm like, 500,000? Thank you, guys.
You did it. I remember I would get in arguments all the time with my boss at the time. She'd be like, oh, this person's going to be in town and they want to partner with us or whatever. And I'd like go look at their profile and I'd be like, no, like we're not doing that. She bought all of her followers. It's also not like that anymore. Like you can't like tag someone and a bunch of people will go follow them, I feel like, anymore. It's definitely more of a dead zone. Now.
I feel like especially on Instagram, like TikTok.
TikTok's also its own weird algorithm, though, that I don't fully understand because you never know when things are going to like take off and then when they're not. And
you mean to tell me my Get Ready With Me wasn't a hit?
It was a hit. It was a hit in this house. I liked Saved Scent. But anyway, back to this theory. Like, it's also centered around the idea that real people have become disillusioned and started logging off. And I also think that's true. I know a lot of people who have chosen just to not be online.
Probably smart.
You know? Totally. And it's kind of left just a lot of what they call synthetic voices a lot. And it's not just fringe theorist whispering about bots either. In 2018, research from Imperva suggested that more than 50% of internet traffic came from non-human sources. Automated scripts, crawlers, and bots.
That's so depressing.
More than half. Elon Musk even made headlines back in 2022 when he claimed that up to 20% of Twitter users were probably fake. And that was right before he, I guess, tried to back out of buying Twitter and turning it into X, which is also a dumb thing too. No one says X, and also that caused everyone to leave when it wasn't Twitter anymore. I left. I like deleted my account because I was like, all my friends left, so I was like, there's no point. I don't need to be here.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have also like kind of pointed out the robotic quality of a lot of interactions nowadays, the sudden rise of low effort memes and accounts that repost the same content at the same time, or videos that trigger engagement without ever actually saying anything. So it's kind of just become this weird echo chamber on the internet.
Yeah.
And there's also something that I learned about called Eternal September, which is a term that dates back to the 90s internet, when a lot of new internet users started flooding all of the message boards and things stopped being like I feel like back in the day there was like these internet hangouts or internet cafes or chat rooms, and then all of a sudden it was just bombarded. And now a lot of people are like, we're in kind of like almost like a cultural pause. Like we're seeing a lot of repeating trends, a lot of the same aesthetics, and consuming content that's just not really made by real people. Like we don't know who we're getting it from.
Scary.
And it's true because it's like I'll see those videos all the time where like someone will be cooking on the side or making something with clay or doing ASMR or something while another video is playing to the left of it.
cutting that soap.
And I'm like, I'm watching this person be sentenced to life right now, and then you're cutting cutting a bath bomb in half.
It's fucking us up.
It's weird. But I was thinking about this because if you go on Facebook now, which I know you haven't been on in a really long time.
I deleted mine, I think, like years ago.
I deleted the one that I had, and then I made one not that long before I started Cult Leader so that I could have like a Facebook page, but I don't post anything on there. There's nothing on there. It's all like privated, deleted, everything. But every once in a while, we'll log on because I have a few people that I know in real life on there, and it has their birthdays. And so
that was always a lifesaver.
And still, that's the only reason that I even keep that going. But when I do log on, it's literally filled with propaganda, like fake things
what is
now.
It like?
Okay, memes and stuff. Like it's not people I follow or pages that I've liked or accounts. It's so weird. A lot of times it'll be like AI generated shitty movie posters claiming that movies from the 90s are coming back with a different cast. I'm trying to think of an example that doesn't already have a shitty remake from that time, but like Friends. They'll post like a Friends poster, but it'll be like Selena Gomez and newer people, whatever.
And
it'll be like, coming in September 2025 or whatever.
Is that just to get people's engagement?
Literally, it'll have like hundreds of thousands of likes, 30,000 comments, and then you'll go to the page that posted it and they'll have like 1 million followers, but it's literally AI.
Weird. I hate that.
It's like an AI meme page, but it's just like there's no truth obviously to it whatsoever, but the page posting it will just have 1 million fans and all these interactions on it, but it's just completely AI run. It's crazy to me. There's also, as I mentioned, with the dead internet theory, there's a lot of whispers of government involvement with this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's theorists that claim that programs like Operation Earnest Voice, which is a real U.S. military project, which is aimed at manipulating online discourse in foreign countries. Kind of like how people talk about how it's happened here, like the Russian bots and everything on computers.
Yeah, and how they like silence certain things in different countries. Yeah.
Like the idea is basically to flood the internet with manufactured personas to sway public opinion, push propaganda, and I feel like we saw this 1 million times during the election period or during COVID.
We did. And I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, okay, people that aren't in the United States, please tell us what everyone else is saying about us because we don't really know. Like we know some
but
things,
nobody knows because it's all like the internet in other countries is just as fucked. And it's like it's... I mean, truly here more than ever, I think people get tricked by things a lot. There's like videos of babies in the hospital singing with Jesus behind them.
And you know, my sister's she's sending them to us.
This is incredible.
You know, she's getting tricked.
Or like Trump on America's Got Talent singing America the Beautiful. And like, you know, there's people out there that are like, is that real?
Yeah.
Is that real? Like... It's crazy, but it's also on both sides because you're being fed misinformation left and right by the left and the right. It's all so fucked up and wild to see. I remember there was one documentary, I can't remember the name of it. I wish I had thought about this so I could have looked into it before we recorded, but that talked about like the influence basically that online culture has on elections because it does make such a difference because you're feeding narratives into specific audiences like Facebook. You know, you're going to get more of the boomers and stuff. And so it's like they can push all of this rhetoric that goes towards not only what you believe, but also what you're against, because then you're interacting with what you're against. And that's what they want at the end of the day. Like,
look at Love Island. And I know it's like not a great example, but it is because this season caught so much traction online. Every season's been popular. Like last season was very popular, but this season I have not seen as much discourse around it than I have. Like I've never
part
seen
of that's what you're looking at and clicking on.
Yes, but I watched it in real time, the show, right? And then I had to get Cisco into it and we watched it again and I feel very differently about who I liked and who I thought and everything because of that.
I mean, that even is propaganda in and of itself because people aren't going on that show to find love, right? They see what it's done for people in the past seasons. Like, oh, you can go on that show, become a mega influencer, and all of a sudden you have all these brand deals and you're making all this money. Like, that's why people go on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not Amaya. I feel like she genuinely was like down for a good time, but I love her. But the scariest part about all of it is most people nowadays report feeling like something's just different when they're scrolling. It just feels very hollowed out, a lack of soul. And I mean, that could be the backing the dead internet theory, right? Like nothing's real. We're just kind of getting the same shit regurgitated. But that could also just be the lack of original content these days or people posting what they actually like these days because people don't really do that anymore. And if you go and you scroll on TikTok, I guarantee you'll see a lot of trends, which like we'll participate in sometimes. Because sometimes they are just fun. And you see a lot of content, especially on TikTok. I feel like you mainly see content farming which is just like basically getting people to answer things. So it's like, real question, how old are you and how much are you making right now? And it's people will just put out all this information. And obviously people post a lot of rage bait on there to get people talking to. And it's like, that's what they want. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. And people just play into it every single time. There's also a ton of like exposés. I feel like there's a new one every week where it'll be like, did you know that this popular TikTok chef's husband voted for in 2016? And it's like, what the fuck do I care? I think people just have too much time is honestly the thing, and too much access. And the problem is it's unavoidable too, because we all play into it in some part. For sure. Because it's like, I'm not looking at where I don't know where my memes come from. If something pops up on TikTok and it's funny, I'll send it to you. That page could be fully run by AI. I don't know. Or sometimes they are run by
if it's good, what am I going to do?
I can do anything matter. But no, I was thinking about it because thinking back even to AOL Instant Messenger, do you remember Smarter Child?
No.
It was someone you could add on AIM and they were like a robot you could talk back and forth with.
I have no recollection of that.
And I'm like, that was like the OG AI. It's been here longer than we thought.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think it could probably like answer things. I'm sure it was probably pretty basic, but it was literally just like you could talk back and forth with it.
Have you seen those videos of like, because you know everybody's like AI is going to take over and they're going to, take over our life and it's going to be robots everywhere and whatever. And have you seen like robots playing like, I think they were playing like soccer or something? Like a video of it.
No.
And they're just like, honey, they're not going to hurt us.
No. Well, I don't know.
Well, actually, I did do an episode on robots killing people, but.
Well, I mean, I do think AI is going to take a lot of people's jobs, but this is like the weird shit to think about because back to the dead internet theory, there's a lot of ghost accounts of dead people that still post or send DMs. That happened with my mom, where it's like someone hacked her Instagram account or something and was like sending bitcoins or something. There's AI that's resurrecting voices and faces of celebrities that are gone, which like that's gonna probably happen to like our loved ones as well. I'm sure that will just become a thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's the darker side of it with like deep fakes and like the porn side of it, virtual influencers or chat bots posing as loved ones, which we'll also get to in another segment. And it's just scary to think about because we're living in a world, I got very down the rabbit hole with this, where death isn't even the end anymore.
Yeah, no.
That's what freaks me out because the line between reality and artificial has gotten so blurred and so
Black Mirror.
Totally. And even if the dead internet theory isn't true in like a literal sense, it's definitely a metaphor, I feel like, for what we're going through, that the internet, once human and messy, is alive, but it's also dead at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, bring back bloggers, bring back like Julie and Julia, like
I saw
cooking bloggers.
I think that is going to make a comeback.
Yeah.
Like with Substack.
Uh-huh.
I think it's coming back. I really do.
I do see people leaning more towards that direction, which I like too. And it's also like I've noticed people don't really care about substance. They care more about instant gratification because of like the dopamine hits and the cortisol rises that we get on the internet. I had someone say about Cult Leader recently, this story could have been done in 5 minutes or whatever. And you're like, bitch, it's not a TikTok. It's not a like people just need that. If it's not fast enough, then I'm out of here.
Yeah, totally. Like what happened to like ingratiating yourself in this like story and sitting with it and like
I don't know. Things have gotten gluttonous, honey. It is a sinner's world.
It is.
It's a sinner's world.
And sometimes I do hold down my TikToks and make them
Speed it up.
Speedy.
Speed it up, honey. I don't care.
We're hypocritical for sure.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We partake in it.
Yeah.
Like,
but when you pull out, you're like, oh, this is going on and this isn't good. And this,
fully. Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, rest in peace, internet.
Rest in peace to the internet. I should have written an obituary for it.
You should have. You absolutely should have.
So I don't know if it's real or not. There's so many good videos online that probably explain it way better without me going on my side tangents. But yeah, I mean, I guess the theory is that it died and that we're just seeing regurgitated content. But it's
we're
true.
Seeing corpses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corpses.
God. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Well, we're going to take one more quick break. And when we come back, Madison's going to tell us what had her spinning in her coffin this week. We'll be right back. And we're back. What had you spinning in your coffin this week?
All right, Geoffs. Today I want to talk about something that can definitely be a touchy subject. So first and foremost, I am giving you a trigger warning because I'm going to be talking about suicide today in this coffin spinner. It's obviously something we don't encourage and understand if you're not in the right headspace to listen. So log out if you don't want to hear it.
Please.
However, we have talked extensively about death with dignity, the right to die, and, all the end of life decisions here. So I thought it would be appropriate, but this is going to be just a little different. So we are going to cover suicide pacts today, which is probably one of the most intense pacts you can ever make with another person. And whether it's out of love or desperation or loyalty or some combination of those, the idea of choosing to die with somebody is really fucking heavy. And this actually popped up on my radar recently because there's a rumor that's been going around about Sharon Osbourne and Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, I saw that.
Yes. So if you don't know, I guess in past interviews, they've both said things like if either of us gets something like Alzheimer's or, something terrible, we'd go to Switzerland and do assisted suicide together. So they have been interviewed saying that. I don't love that statement because I don't think that is an automatic death sentence, but I also understand why you wouldn't want to suffer through that.
Sure.
Either way, with Ozzy's last show that he just had, and then they did have a recent trip to Switzerland, it brought it all back into the public eye.
Well, that's what Everett was saying.
Yeah, they just landed and, is this going to be the end and all that. But then I saw Kelly Osbourne, their daughter, come out and said basically that's not the real plan. And they've said this kind of stuff just for shock value. But still, it did make me think and made me wonder about, famous or historical figures who really did have suicide pacts. And disclaimer, again, I am not touching anything with cults. That's for cult leader. But mass suicides because of cult leaders popped up a ton. So,
yeah.
But this is obituary, so we won't go there. But today I want to talk about some of the most famous and historical suicide pacts. And it's interesting, some of these led to really big world events. So
okay.
Or were the cause of big world events.
I can think of a few, yeah.
Yes. So let's start off with something called the Mayerling incident. I had no clue about this. This goes back to 1889 in Vienna. We have the Crown Prince of Austria, and his name is Rudolph. He is the only heir to the throne. His dad is the emperor, his mom's the empress, and he's their only child. He's 30 years old around this time, and he's married to his wife, Stephanie. But they are very unhappily married. And politically, he's very unhappy. He's just not feeling
He's going through it.
He's going through it. He and his wife, Stephanie, did have one daughter, but then he got syphilis and he gave it to his wife, Stephanie, so she couldn't carry any.
I almost did a coffin spinner on syphilis.
Really?
Yeah, recently, which I still might because it's crazy.
I know we've touched on it a little bit, with the glasses that they'd have to wear. Just crazy.
Crazy.
The only thing that seemed to bring him any happiness in this life was his 17-year-old mistress, Baroness Mary Vetsera. Everyone, you have to think about, your dad's the emperor, your mom's the empress, you're, surrounded by so many people, and everybody kind of low-key knew that he was having this, insane affair with Mary, and I think that he was probably feeling a lot of pressure to stop it, obviously, from his wife and his parents, and so he and Mary could never go public, obviously. So in January of 1889, Rudolph and Mary, his mistress, go off to this hunting lodge called the Mayerling Hunting Lodge. Rudolph told his friends and family, like, hey, I have a day planned out here of hunting and shooting, and he even had a friend come with him. So he goes out there. Nobody knows that Mary also went out there. In the morning, when it was time to go out shooting and hunting, his friend who came with him and his driver were trying to get into his room, but they couldn't. When they finally did, they discovered that Rudolph had been shot and Mary was also there and she was shot as well. And it became very clear pretty quickly that this wasn't like some sort of random murder, but that it was indeed a suicide pact. Rudolph had shot Mary first and then turned the gun on himself. But the wild part and what makes this like an obvious suicide pact is that Mary had written a bunch of letters to family before going to the lodge, basically saying her goodbyes. And this whole thing was absolutely planned. The letters had said, like, I'm happier in death than in life, and I am going to an uncertain beyond with Rudolph. Also, some drama. Apparently, another one of his lovers came out and was like, he tried to convince me to do this too. But I said no.
Damn.
I know. So his family goes into cover-up mode because they didn't want people to know that he died by suicide, especially at that time. That was like a big no-no. And also that it involved a 17-year-old mistress. So a lot of scandal they tried to cover up. So they smuggle Mary out of the hunting lodge, like in secrecy, and they dressed her up as a maid. So, like, nobody would suspect anything, and she was buried in secret. He got a whole beautiful Catholic burial, and his family had tried to say, like, he was there with Mary, and Mary poisoned herself, and he had a heart attack because of it. Like,
okay.
But they were very clearly had...
At least they didn't try and say, like, she killed him and then killed herself.
That's true. But they very clearly had been shot, you know? Okay, but what makes this a historical incident and why it kept popping up when I was researching this is because, again, he was the only heir to the Austrian-Hungarian throne. So when he died, the next in line was Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
The singer.
The singer, yeah. Well, I've always heard about him starting World War I. So Franz Ferdinand becomes, you know, the heir, but he was assassinated a few years later, which is what kicked off World War I.
Shit.
But this is because they declared war on Serbia after seeing that the assassination was an attack on Austria and Hungary because it was a political figure. And so then Serbia was supported by Russia, so got Russia involved, and then Germany and France, and then so on and so forth. So if there wasn't a suicide pact, World War I may have never happened.
Oh,
isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Yeah, it's like one of those, the butterfly effect.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so now let's go on to World War II. We have Hitler and Eva Braun.
Oh.
Yeah, we hate them. Okay. But fast forward to 1945, we are at the tail end of World War II. Germany is getting its fucking ass kicked after all the horrible atrocities they've committed under the influence of Hitler and all his cronies. Hitler knows that he's done for, and so he retreats to his bunker. And this was like a famous bunker. I can't say the word in German. I'll fuck it up, but basically, he had this crazy bunker underneath Berlin that he was in and a bunch of his colleagues were in. So he goes down there. He's there with his longtime girlfriend, Eva Braun. He asks her to marry him in that bunker while his whole world is crumbling right above him. And then the next day, they make the call to die together. So they both eat cyanide pills. And at the same time they're eating them, he shoots himself in the head and he dies. And then Eva Braun just died from the cyanide alone. But staff was ordered to burn their bodies right after so that there was no desecration, unfortunately. But like they had to like burn it all. Okay, but so it seemed like a lot of his crew had these suicide pacts, and there was another guy down there named Joseph Goebbels. Joseph was Hitler's minister of propaganda, and he was grossly devoted to Hitler and the whole Nazi regime. And the day after Hitler and Eva Braun killed themselves, Joseph and his wife are like, okay, we need to do this too. Like, he just did it. We need to do it. So they make a suicide pact and they fulfill it. But it's not just them. They have 6 kids down there too.
Did they kill them too?
So they drug the kids with morphine, and then either them or one of the SS doctors is there crushing up cyanide and putting it in the kids' mouths and, kill them.
Monsters.
Then they go outside and they take cyanide. There's also reports that they either shot themselves too, but reports kind of vary, but all ruled suicide, and their bodies are also burned. And they were all in this same massive bunker.
They're just getting preheated for what they're going to experience in
absolutely.
hell.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck them. Those are all horrible, terrible. I want to end, though.
I want to end on a happy suicide pact.
I know. It's like so fucked up, but I do want to end on one that's very interesting because it sparked a lot of debate at the time about death with dignity and assisted suicide and the right to die. So we have Arthur Koestler. Arthur was a really well-known Hungarian and British writer and philosopher. I was looking up his books, and his most famous book is called Darkness at Noon. It came out in the 1940s, and it was like about the Soviet Union and totalitarianism. Not only was he an author and a philosopher, he was a huge proponent of voluntary suicide. He and his wife were both involved with Exit International, which was like a right to die group in the UK. Anyway, by the 1980s, Arthur was in horrible health. He had Parkinson's disease and was also diagnosed with terminal leukemia. And he was in his late 70s at the time and had made it very clear that he did not want to continue suffering. He's like, I'm not doing this. But Arthur was married to I believe it was his third wife, Cynthia, and she was way younger than him. She was in her early to mid 50s, and she was very healthy. She was originally his secretary since she was 22, and then they married eventually, and she was like incredibly devoted to him. But on March 1st, 1983, the two of them were found dead in their home in London. I guess their housekeeper found them, and they were laying side by side in their bed next to each other under the covers. They each had suicide notes on their bedside tables. I think there was a bottle of alcohol and a booklet from Exit International that held instructions on how to overdose properly. And it was very clearly a suicide pact. He left a note saying that life was insufferable for him, and Cynthia left a note saying that she wouldn't leave him. And so they went out together. Her being much younger, though, and healthy made a lot of people start talking. Like, I guess I was reading, like, their friend groups were incredibly divided. They were like, okay, was she coerced into this and felt like she didn't have a way out? Or was she actually truly hopelessly devoted to him and like didn't want to live in a world
that he wasn't in
without him? But by all accounts, it seems like she very much knew what she was getting into, and they exited. So it's one of those moral things. Like, I don't know what's wrong or what's right. I feel really strongly about the right to die and death with dignity, especially when you have like a terminal illness, but I don't know about taking your loved ones out with you.
Yeah. Remember The Last of Us?
Yes, I thought about that. I thought about the couple.
Yeah, without spoiling.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, but that was old, first season.
But in that situation, I think it was beautiful.
Oh, if the world's ending.
And there's clickers running around fucking people up.
Bye. Out of here.
They lived a beautiful life as long as they could, you know?
Absolutely.
So there you have it.
Well.
Heavy, but it happens.
Should we make one? No, I don't know. I agree because I'm also so for death with dignity, the right to die. Like I 100% agree with it and am so pro. But part of me also, the woo-woo part of me is like, yeah, but is like losing your spouse or whatever, is that supposed to be part of your journey? You know what I mean? Like like dealing with that grief and learning that grief and stuff.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Maybe that was the lesson that your soul contract signed before you came here. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want to ever romanticize it, but yeah, it makes you think.
It does make you think.
Well, when somebody dies, you got to write an obituary for them.
You sure do. You sure do.
And I'm obsessed with this obituary that I found in the Opelika Auburn News from April 27th, 1936.
Okay.
I love it. It says, death separates eccentric pair.
Oh.
Cornell, New York, April 27th. Death Sunday separated permanently two brothers whose hermit-like existence in the hills near here had been divided by a chalk line for 62 years.
What?
George Washington Coleman, 79, said he would carry on the little cabin at Baker's Gulch where James Philetus Coleman, 81, died Saturday of pneumonia. For more than half a century, the two brothers had lived in the cabin as strangers, a chalk line through the center of the one-room home, marking the boundary of their individual domains.
What?
Neither ever disclosed the reason for the strange relationship. On each side of the room was a bunk where each slept, and each did his own cooking and had its own set of dishes. Each also had his own garden outside. Once each week, they drove into nearby Canister for supplies, but space on the ramshackle wagon was carefully marked off, and each brother bought his own victuals and other supplies and stored them in his own section of the wagon.
What?
Neighboring farmers said the brothers seldom engaged in conversation, but seemed to get along well together. Old residents of the section said the two brothers started their method of housekeeping 62 years ago. The brothers were nicknamed Bottle and Jug, but the reason for the nicknames was never disclosed. George Washington Coleman, who was known as Jug, married when he was 22 and brought his bride to live in the cabin. She died several years ago and, according to tradition in the hills, never stepped across the chalk line which separated the little structure.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It's crazy because we've seen it referenced. So I remember there's an episode of Cat Dog where they did that. And then
I feel like growing up all those shows.
I Love Lucy.
Yeah, like
that
the
too
line.
on an episode. Yeah. Or was that like was that the apartment or was that the restaurant that they bought? Remember they buy the diner?
That? Yes.
And they like divide it, I feel like, in half.
I thought it was like maybe it wasn't an Italian. Yes. I think it was the diner.
Uh-huh. I'm pretty sure it was the diner and they like, yeah.
Oh my God.
But I was like, what a fucking cool obituary. Like I've never found an obituary like that.
That's insane.
I didn't know people really did that.
Years.
Like
I know.
Something their fucking parents must have really pressed into them like, this is your space and this is your space.
Totally.
There's something psychological going on there, but I also just fucking love it.
I also don't hate it. It's like, well, they respected the boundaries.
We do it with our husbands. Like.
Yeah. Sometimes I love that. That's great.
I do that with our coffee mugs, actually.
You do?
Yeah.
You have them like separated?
Yes. I'm a freak. But he has like so many cute coffee mugs and they're all different and they all like some are so cute. Like they're all different, but mine are all very cohesive, the same. And so I keep mine in one cabinet and his another. We do not mix. We do not mix our mugs.
Okay. No mug mixing.
The secret to a happy relationship.
Don't mix your mugs.
Don't mix your mugs.
And bathrooms across the house.
That's the biggest key.
Yep. No, absolutely.
Literally different bathrooms.
Yeah. God. All right. I have an obituary, and I wish I could put the picture here because he just looked like you can feel his energy through the picture. And that was like what kind of drew me to him. Like, just seems like such a happy guy. This is for John. 2nd of January, 1959. A dark and stormy night. To the 24th of September, 24. A good day to die. Just think, I will never live long enough to be considered a crusty old gray-haired man. Just crusty. John wrote his own obituary. What follows is in his own words, mostly. This notice will seem odd to a good number of people I have run into casually around town. The comment I heard most was, "You look good. You can't be sick. You'll be fine." These things can seem to dismiss my reality. I was very sick. My diagnosis came as, "I'm sorry," from oncology. My definitive terminal diagnosis is a whole different animal, hard to put in words. At least I will be a good-looking corpse. It is weird to know you are going to die and to try and tell about who you were. I am going to put down a few musings that I feel defines me and let those who knew me fill in the rest. Most important was my marriage to Linda, the home we rebuilt together, our pets, the wild croquet parties, skiing together, and the backyard garden, a happy home. I was the guy who followed my dog Willie downtown on our morning coffee run. He chose the route, and I gladly followed. For whatever reason, I could grow a full beard at the drop of a hat. I confounded many by changing my appearance often. Really, I was just lazy about shaving. The one thing that really sucks about chemo is that prevented me from growing a decent beard ever again. What I loved the most was skiing, a lifetime of learning and loving the sport. I was quite good at it. It was a lifetime passion. I made it out every year at least once, even when it was difficult. 59 years, including during cancer treatments, when I made a few wobbly half runs at Chapman. It would be impossible to not say I will miss this activity the most. But I'm dead and don't know the difference. I loved the outdoors, especially the trails everywhere in our diverse area, for hiking, backpacking, mountain biking, running, walking, and just enjoying nature. I did shoot wildlife, but only with a camera. I went my entire life and never saw a mountain lion. I had hoped to remove this sentence before pushing up flowers. I did building for clients, top-notch work down to the mundane. It made me a living. I never ever once purchased an item from Walmart. I tried to buy locally always. I miss Hogan's, Boker, the Red Snapper, Old Timers, and the Palace. Times change, that is okay, but sometimes we lose the best. As the end was getting here, I got busy, dumped chemo, and went about fulfilling the bucket list with much help from friends and family. Taking a solo trip to Hawaii to try to surf, a trip to Europe with old friend Mike Olson to catch a stage of the Tour de France, finishing with brother Garth in Iceland on a helicopter tour of the island. Rewarding and distracting. Well worth it. Cancer is an insidious disease. I, for unknown reasons, had the bad karma to have 2 distinct cancers that were incurable. Metastatic prostate cancer and more recently, anaplastic thyroid cancer. Unassociated and not environmental. One of them got me. I know people love to donate. It will make you feel better, so here is how I can help in that. Please consider a meaningful donation to the American Cancer Society, St. Jude's, or any cancer research program. I led a life. Kids sometimes don't get to. Give them a chance. Flowers are only good for mounds and goats. And of course, I won't know the difference, but my goat might. Help a cancer patient. In memory, simply ski a run, ride a loop, take a yoga class, run or hike your favorite mountain trail. It was probably one of my faves as well. Or take your dog for a walk and try to train it to get your morning coffee. John.
Aww.
I know, isn't that sweet?
Sweet.
Very sweet. He seemed like such a happy guy, his picture. Loved it.
Love him.
Yeah.
A life well lived. Well, let's keep the smiles going. We have spun in our coffins.
We have bitched our obituaries.
It means it's time for some dumb
ass
criminals.
Who do you have?
I have one AI involved.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay. This is from thehill.com. Florida woman conned out of $15,000 after AI clones her daughter's voice.
Oh, no, that scares me.
This is the mom. I'll play this clip in a second.
Love her makeup.
An absolute diva. But she got tricked. And honestly, this is the thing that scares me about AI is because people used to get tricked with the phone calls, right?
Yes.
Like, I am stuck in jail and I need you to
Remember that happened to my mom about my niece?
Yes. And then I feel like we have a few friends whose parents have gotten tricked by people online into giving them money.
Yeah.
Mostly single ladies.
Yep.
Who have gotten tricked into men working on the oil rigs that are like, give me your money. Geoffs, we know that we've got listeners of all ages here. And just let me tell you.
Yeah.
If a man says he's working on an oil rig and he needs you to send him money to feed the crew.
Yeah.
He's not telling the truth.
Yeah. And your bank's never going to ask you for sensitive information.
Madison.
That. Okay.
Okay, so this took place in Dover, Florida. It says, quote, a Florida woman wants to warn others after falling prey to an elaborate AI-powered scheme that used cloned audio of her daughter's voice to demand thousands of dollars in fake bond money. Sharon Brightwell told Nextstar's WFLA that the ordeal began last Wednesday when she received a phone call from a number that looked like her daughter's. And on the other end of the line, a young woman was sobbing, claiming to have been in a car crash.
No.
There's nobody that could convince me it wasn't her, Sharon said. I know my daughter's cry. The caller said she had hit a pregnant woman while texting and driving and claimed her phone was taken by police. A man then got on the line claiming to be an attorney representing her daughter. He told Sharon her daughter was being detained and needed $15,000 in bail money and cash. He gave me very specific instructions, Sharon said. He told me not to tell the bank what the money was for.
Oh.
And that it would affect my daughter's credit. Following his instructions, she withdrew the money, placed it in a box as directed. A driver showed up at her house to pick up the package.
What?
But it didn't stop there.
Oh, no.
She received another call saying the unborn child had died.
No.
And that the family, described as Christian people, had agreed not to sue her daughter if she gave them another $30,000. That's when her grandson stepped in. He was on the phone with a family friend who quickly called Sharon directly this time with her real daughter on the line.
Oh, fuck.
But why would you not think to just call your daughter's phone? I mean, I guess you're freaked out, but
yeah,
like, to make sure. I screamed, Sharon said, when I heard her voice. I broke down. She was fine. She was still at work. The family believes the suspects used videos from Facebook or other social media to create a convincing AI-generated replica of her daughter's voice.
The good thing is, I'm just thinking about, like, personal. I don't think if, like, my dad got a call, I think he'd be like, leave her in jail. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Bill would be
what?
Bill would be like, you got yourself into this mess.
You get yourself out, yeah.
Okay, here's the news clip.
Elaborate AI-assisted fraud case, one that started with a fake phone call and ended with thousands of dollars vanishing from her family's savings account. News Channel 8's Georgia MacArthur spoke with her mother, who shared how this scheme was so believable. Georgia.
Josh, I spoke to the mother who says she was convinced her daughter's life was on the line. She later learned that
it's not the news. The news is an AI. They're like, we want to speak to you about your story, but you're going to have to pay us this.
So we can get it out.
I just want to go to the mom.
Crying, saying she'd been in a crash.
Oh.
There's nobody that could convince me that it was not. I know my daughter's cry. Even though she's an adult, I still know my daughter's cry.
Brightwell says the voice claimed her daughter was in jail after she hit a pregnant woman while texting and driving.
Now, they're not getting that $15,000 back because it's in a shoebox.
Yeah, somewhere in fucking Kalamazoo. We would be fucked. It would be so easy to AI our voices because we talk all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's scary.
We're damned.
Well, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
God.
It's crazy, though, the schemes that are out there. And it's only getting worse. I mean, we're getting up there, and we're going to get tricked soon.
I know. Don't knock on wood. Are you kidding me?
Because we're going to see, like, a video of, like, our loved one being like, I'm hanging off a cliff, and they said if you don't send me this money, they're going to let me fall. We're going to believe it. We're going to be like...
Yeah. Like the deep fake, like, we have a video of your daughter doing something terrible.
Actually, let's do a loyalty test. let's text people we know, our loved ones, videos of us,
and
let's see if they send the money.
Yeah. And we'll go pick it up.
Yeah. And if they don't do it,
they're done.
Dead to us.
Dead to us. God.
Who do you have?
Okay, I have one that was sent to us a lot on TikTok, actually. And I'm not good at working TikTok, but I was like, what keeps getting sent to us? And then I clicked on it, and it was a video from Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the user, and it looks like she works at a radio station. I think WMEE, 97.3 WMEE in Fort Wayne. Whammy. Listen to this.
So a 911 dispatcher lost her job after she called an Ohio resident. And normally, you're calling 911. 911's not calling you. But this is wild. The Twinsburg, Ohio woman, she was shocked when she received a call from the dispatcher. And before we get into it, I'm just going to play the call because it speaks for itself.
Hello? Hello, may I speak to Karen Clinton, please? Speaking? Karen, it's the Twinsburg Police Department calling. Okay. Do I have your attention? Pardon me? Do I have your attention? What do you need? Do I have your full attention? Yeah, what's wrong? Oh, no, wait a minute. Do I need to sit down? No, you don't need to sit down. Everything's fine. I just want to let you know, congratulations, you've won the prize at a contest. You've made, since 2010, you've made 183 phone calls. And since in the last 5 years, we have conducted 954 traffic details on your street, and we have made 1,804 traffic stops on your street in the last 5 years. So you win the prize, and it's called the Booby Prize. You are the dumbest person to call this police department on a repeated basis. So thank you for being a resident of this city, and have a wonderful life.
I'm sorry.
The 911 dispatcher gave it to her.
Love it.
And the 911 dispatcher was fired, but I think she should be promoted.
Yeah, honestly, give her a prize.
You won the Booby Prize for being the dumbest person. Is that crazy?
I love it.
I know, I love that.
We love a prank phone call.
Yes. But it wasn't even a prank call. She had it.
Oh, yeah. She said, fucking listen,
Since
bitch.
2010.
Oh,
God.
Diabolical.
I know.
Well, that's where we leave things for the week. We got to go make some prank phone calls, but we'll be back next week for some more coffin spinners.
And obituaries.
And dumb
ass
criminals. Goodbye.
Goodbye.